What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is the only sports podcast. That's right, the only sports podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. How we doing today, Casino?
Doing pretty good. How are you, man? How are you? I want to know how you're doing. You always ask me. I want to know how you're doing.
Well, I just realized I always wear
See,
this
I don't
shirt.
Just kidding.
I always wear this shirt on the show, and it's because this is my like go to the gym shirt. So
You don't actually have like actual gym wear, gym attire.
No, I got gym like shorts, but for t-shirts, I usually just grab whatever. But I like how this one looks with the shorts. So
You don't have any like Under Armour or anything like that?
No, I'm not a nerd.
Come on, man.
A dork. But yeah,
I was trying to grab. I had some Under Armour right there. It looks great. Like actual gym clothes.
No,
no. Things are great. Things are great. I decided that I was trying to find something to watch last night, and I turned it over to the Disney Plus and Daredevil, like the new beginning Daredevil. I watched the first episode and a half, and I'm like, nope, I'm good. And it's just because the one on Netflix is so good. Those first 3 seasons, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna rewatch all of that. I'm gonna watch all of Daredevil. I'm gonna watch all of Punisher. Watch all of Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, all the things. The Defenders. They did a really, really good job with that. Like, I wasn't a big fan of like Iron Fist. I thought that was the weakest of them all.
Which Jessica you and I actually watched together. You and I watched Iron Fist together.
We did watch Iron Fist together. But out of all of those, I mean, the 3 seasons of Daredevil, the ending of season 3 of Daredevil was probably just so. It was one of my favorite endings to a series that wasn't like, you know, a sitcom kind of situation.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
It was so good. And then Jessica Jones at season 1. Oh, man, that was Kilgrave. That was one of the greatest villain performances of all time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I also.
Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch all of them. Yeah, it's great.
What is it? I watched I tried to watch the Disney Plus, like Daredevil. Didn't like it. Tried to watch the Disney Plus Star Wars shows. No, outside of Andor, all those shows are bad to fine. Like the first season of Mandalorian is great. I took my kids to go see the newest Mandalorian movie that just came out. Dude, we saw it 2 days ago. I can't tell you a single thing that happened.
No,
it is
probably the exact same as the first, like the whole series, right? It's just the same thing.
Dude, it's just the most forgettable thing you'll ever see. It's so just nothing happens whatsoever. It's awful. But we are here today, Casino, not to talk about
today.
to not talk about awful things, but to talk about great things, which is these playoffs for both the NHL and NBA have just been fantastic. Fantastic.
Real good.
You know what? Let's actually, because it's so hot right now, let's actually talk about what is it? The Golden Knights and the Avalanche. It happened last night. Walk us through it, Casino.
Whew. So that game was intense. So at the very beginning, oh man. So put me on the spot here. So the Avalanche, they came out with the purpose. Cale Makar was back in the lineup. Mark Stone was back in the lineup for the respective squads. Mark Stone's great. Top 30, top 40 player in the league for sure. Easily. No argument there. And some people will have him higher. But Cale Makar, easily top 5, possibly top 10 player in the league. And in my opinion, I think he's top 5. He helps drive that team. He's right there with Nathan McKinnon, who's also on the Avs. They needed him. They needed him back. And because, again, he's kind of the engine for that team. So when he came out, swinging. Oh, sorry. I had a Canadiens and Hurricanes up on my screen, but let me get over to the other game. Sorry. But
that's okay.
Yeah.
Keep going, buddy.
Yeah, no worries. So it was a great game because you had Landeskog came out and he opened up with a goal and really got the Avs going. The Avs scored 3 in the first. They look great doing it. And I need to pull up all of these stats because I pulled up and screenshotted a lot of crazy stats. So with them, there we go. There we go. All right. Here we go. Apparently not. All right. Sorry. So yeah, the show's going great right now. So yeah, I was not prepared for that one. I was prepared to go a different direction with hockey if we did hockey first. But so the Golden Knights and the Avs, really tough. The Avs being a President Trophy winner, right? And you wouldn't expect them to just get mollywomped in this series like they have been. They got beat first 2 games at home. Golden Knights coming back, winning late games, coming back from a deficit. Well, they did it again. And the Golden Knights not only did it against the President Trophy team, but they did it against the Avs in a very unreal way. So when it was 3-0, the Avs in their entire playoff history, 74-1 when leading by 3+ goals, which is an insane 74-1. That's an insane stat for a franchise because it's really rare for a team to come back down 3 goals. In general, any sport, right? But hockey, that's nuts. And the Golden Knights, they were 0-19 when being down 3+ goals in the postseason. But I've been telling you all season long, there is one team that you need to put on your list as the comeback kings of the season. And I would put money on them every time they pull their goalie. If they are down a goal or 2 in the third, that they're going to come back and win that game. And the Golden Knights are them. And they did it. Like I am mind blown what I witnessed. So they scored themselves 3 in the second, unanswered, to tie the game 3-3. And then in the third, you had Tomas Hertl getting a wonderful deke move and backhanding it to beat the goalie and to go up 4-3. And then Brett Howden, who now ties Pavel Dorofeyev, or Doris Skorofeyev, as they say, is what the Knights have started calling him. They are both tied for the lead of goals this postseason. And Mitch Marner, buddy boy, oh buddy pal, thank you Toronto Maple Leafs, you guys, just letting us have him. Just thank you. Thank you. It's wild. So I don't know. Did you watch the game? I'm sorry. I'm kind of
I did. No, I did. And this is, again, I always love to look at, because again, when you talk about it, I always feel like you need a visual representation of what actually happened in the game. Because again, like you were saying, Avalanche were up 3-0, Knights came back and won. So I always love where they show the win probabilities. This is the win probability of what was going on during this game. And you just see, again, I don't know why it says the AMs there, but you just see how much the market flips in just, wow. I mean, look at that. It went from the Avalanche were so the chasm between who was the favorite before the series started, and then all of a sudden that flip right there to where it's almost identically different. That's insane.
So this also marks the 10th team in NHL history to take a 3-0 series lead against the NHL's number 1 seed, the President Trophy winner. Boy, dude, they were defeated. I don't know if you thought, when Nathan MacKinnon, arguably the greatest player in hockey right now, he took a massive shot to the knee. I think they clocked it at 86 miles an hour, straight to the knee, no padding there. He went to the locker room. He didn't come back out in the third to start, but then he ended up coming back out. He tried a couple shifts. He had no pop. He really couldn't do anything. He was out there for special teams pretty much. But then when Tomas Hertl scored that goal, they went and they panned over to Nathan MacKinnon on the bench, and he was just defeated. He was done. He knew, like, this was over. The series is over. Dude, 3-0, that is a huge step. The Knights have to win one of their next 4. I mean,
yep,
one of their next 4. And I think with Nathan MacKinnon, we'll find out shortly, but he can't skate. Like, he can go out there, he can maneuver, he can move, but he can't do what you're wanting him to do. So, and then Yeah, it's great. And then Cale Makar, like it was nice having him out there, but now all the excuses are coming in. All the people that were saying Avs in 4, they're like, oh well, McKinnon and Makar, like they're injured, this and that. Well, you know what? Have a deep team. Have a deep team, right? Stone's coming back from injury. Cole Smith, he got hurt for the Knights during that game. Like, be deep. Have a deep team. Figure it out. That's what wins in hockey. I've told you time and time again. 4 lines, deep hockey teams. Those are the teams that go far. I don't care if you're loaded up on the front end. Anyway,
well, this is also crazy. It says before Game 3 in Vegas, the Avalanche were 74-1 in franchise playoff history when leading by 3+ goals. They now trail 3-0 in the series. Teams up 3-0 in best of 7 series have won 98% of the time. Now let's talk about the broader question when it comes to the Golden Knights, which is the Golden Knights as a franchise. Is this already the most successful expansion team in the shortest amount of time we've maybe ever had in sports?
Hands down. So I found this. This was from Nick Walters. I saw this. In Golden Knights, 9 seasons of existence, 8 playoff appearances, 5 Pacific Division titles, 5 Western Conference finals, 2 Stanley Cup finals, 1 Stanley Cup win. So they are 1 win away from their 3rd Stanley Cup finals. So that's 1 every 3 years. 5 wins away from their 2nd cup, and the best expansion team in history by far. You can't top that. And the year that they missed the playoffs, that was because half of their team was injured almost the entire season, and they just missed the playoffs. Like they just missed the playoffs, and they were playing with the minor league, the Silver Knights players. Pretty much half the Silver Knights team was playing in the NHL, and everybody's like, who are these guys? Like, who are these random people that are playing on this team? And they still almost made the playoffs. So the turning point was getting John Tortorella in. I told you, the Knights, they are absolutely this organization, this franchise, they don't mind making the big moves. They don't mind severing ties. You saw that with Marc-Andre Fleury. Everybody was like, oh, that was a stab to the heart of this team. You got rid of, and it was. But you know what? They did it to move on, to advance the team and keep them relevant in the time. That's the issue with so many of these teams, is they stick together. They are sticking with the same people, and they don't trade. They don't move. They don't fluctuate. So with John Tortorella, as he came in, like I said, they were 8-0-1 going into the postseason when Torts took over. They are now 18-4-1 under John Tortorella. 18-4-1. And the mindset is just to go out there and win. And this is insane. I just can't. I just can't. It's so great, dude. So here's something. So back in John Tortorella, this is from Hockey Forever. It says, seems like the perfect time to revisit the speech Torts gave to the Columbus Blue Jackets before Game 1 against the 62-win Tampa Bay Lightning in 2019, a series that ended with Columbus stunning and sweeping the Tampa Bay 4-0. Torts said, forget about skills, forget about X's and O's. It's a fucking mindset of fucking believing. That was what he said to the Columbus Blue Jackets, who went out there and swept the 62-win Tampa Bay Lightning team back in 2019. He has a way with getting the best out of teams. Just getting I told you, like back in the day in the early 2000s, he did that with the Tampa Bay. He did it with the Rangers in 08-09. He went and he had the Blue Jackets do what they did in 2019. Like, this guy knows what he's doing. And again, I'm very happy that the Knights got Bruce Cassidy. Obviously, they won a cup with him. It worked out. That was the right coach at the right time when they needed it. But it was time to move on because essentially they had to get, I saw this somewhere, I don't remember who said it, but essentially get over the hill. That is Adin Hill in the net. Bruce Cassidy was not moving off of Adin Hill, and yes, Carter Hart was coming back from injury, but he was very content with trying to not make the moves that needed to be moved, not benching players and pulling up new players and switching lines up, which Bruce Cassidy is normally really good at doing. But they didn't do that, and he didn't do that. As soon as Torts
What
came
do you
in,
think the reason
been
why
great.
he didn't do that
I
was?
don't know. I honestly don't know. Right now, the Oilers want to talk with him. There's so many teams that want to talk with Bruce Cassidy, but the Knights are saying, nope, not happening, not until the season's over. And a lot of people are upset with that. No, that's gamesmanship. That is doing the right thing as a franchise. No, you can't go talk to our coach yet. You don't get a head start in this. No, there's no
Yep.
way. I'm not going to let you do that. I mean, he's going to most likely go to the Oilers, and there's a good chance that the Oilers could go win a cup finally with him because he's going to have the talent of Connor McDavid, of Leon Draisaitl, and all those players. But um, yeah, the Knights, what they're doing right now, man, it is something special, and I love every second of what is happening. I love the whole Mitch Marner situation where he was with the Toronto Maple Leafs for the longest time and just couldn't do anything. And finally, he gets released. Kind of the same thing with Jack Eichel with Buffalo, right? Buffalo could not get over the hump. They got rid of Jack Eichel. They didn't want to take care of him. So the Knights were like, we'll take your best player. Came over, won a cup. Okay. Guess what? Mitch Marner, you don't want him? You don't want to make him happy? We'll take him. They're on the verge of sweeping the President Trophy winners and going to the cup for the third time in franchise history in 9 years. And he is the leading point scorer right now in the postseason. 21 points, 7 goals, 14 assists. He is an assist monster. That's something that he's always been great at. Is he's very good at, with him and Jack Eichel are very good at reading the plays and getting the pucks where they need to be. And he is just lighting up, absolutely lighting up the postseason. Dorofeev, Brett Howden are both tied for the most goals. Brett Howden got his empty netter last night, which is, what's cool is he is tied. I think I said this before. He is tied for the most shorthanded goals in a postseason with, I think it was like 14 others or something like that. But one of them being the great with Wayne Gretzky. That's a really cool stat. Dude, he had 12 goals in the regular season. He's got 10 in the postseason. Brett Howden,
Well,
so great.
It also becomes one of those things where, especially with that, it's like most of the time that's luck. But when you have such a high number of goals doing that, like that's just skill. That's skill and coaching. And again, that started to change right when they made the coaching change.
Mm-hmm.
So as with everything did with this Knights team. But let's move to the other one, the Eastern Conference Finals, Casino, which again is a good series. It just, I feel like, does not have the attention or interest of the Golden Knights because, like every sports team I am a fan of, just they're the most hated sports team in their sport. So can't wait for that Las Vegas basketball team to come out here and just be widely hated. So it's going to be awesome.
I can't wait. It's going to be fantastic. I mean, in the WNBA, everybody hates the Aces because they're so successful.
Yeah, that's same with the Golden Knights. Everybody hates the Eagles because of their fans. Everybody hates the Sixers because of their fans. It's just, I mean, that's how it is. But Canadiens, Hurricanes. Canadiens win the first game in a blowout. Hurricanes win the second one in OT. Thoughts on this one?
I think the Hurricanes would have been in a lot of trouble. I wouldn't have counted them out yet, just because I think they're such a good team. The Canadiens are showing up. They're playing great hockey right now, but the Hurricanes getting that one. Yes, home ice is now technically with the Canadiens, but all you have to do is just win 1 of 2 on the road, and then it's back in your 2-2. It's back on your home ice. You're doing okay, right? So like even last night, if the Knights would have lost, I would have been like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. They still have home ice advantage. We're doing okay. But yeah, Nikolaj Ehlers, he gets the OT victory for Carolina. That's a big boost for them. I think that's the wake-up call that they needed. Remember, we talked about having all that time off, that slump, that rest. Was that going to be detrimental for them, or was that going to, just give them more time to prepare? Obviously, it was a little detrimental, right? They got too calm, too laid back, and they got absolutely worked in game 1. Well, they came back out in game 2. They figured some things out. Yes, it has to go to OT to figure it out, but I still have Carolina coming out of this. Carolina is still the favorites now to win the cup after last night. Even with the Knights winning, the Knights didn't move into second place, though, which is awesome. And the Avs are now 4th highest odds to win the cup, especially being down 3-0 in that series. But I'm not too worried about the Hurricanes. I think they figured it out. Again, all they have to do is just win 1 of 2 in the next, and that would swing back into their favor. And with doing so, that gives them the edge. Like if they win tonight, great. And what that's going to do is it's going to basically give them another game to kind of get their skates back under them. They'll have 4 games. They'll still have home ice advantage. And then it's win best 2 of 3. Best 2 of 3. I think they're good. That was a huge win last night or 2 nights ago for them to win that in OT. I still have the Carolina Panthers moving on. But if they don't, if it is a Vegas Montreal finals, it is there should be a watch in Toronto because you have your rivals with the with the Montreal Canadiens and your superstar that you released and let go to Vegas. Like, how do you watch that final if you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan? You go, the Canadiens made it and Mitch Marner made it. Like,
And for
again,
you,
I
that
love-
is
I
because
love
you
it.
hate Canada. That would be a perfect hate watch for you.
I don't hate Canada.
You hate every single one of their sports teams. I've never heard you say a kind thing about the Toronto Blue Jays. I've never heard you say one
because
good
they're in
thing
division.
about
Screw the Blue Jays.
that.
Screw everybody in the division
in
of baseball.
Canada. Just say in Canada. I've never heard you say a single nice thing about any of their teams in any sport across the league. You a big Toronto Raptors fan? Never heard you say.
I actually cheered for the Raptors when Kawhi Leonard was on there and was going for the trophy. Yeah, that was
okay.
because
So
here's the thing, and I say that because I got to watch Kawhi Leonard play against UNLV when he was at San Diego State, and he was great, and I hated him tremendously, but I respected him as a basketball player because he was damn good and he wanted to go out and ball. So yeah. I was happy for them.
So 1 year of your 55 years on this planet, you have rooted
55,
for
I feel like 55.
Yeah.
No, but
I was
how
talking just
great.
about
Again,
physically.
I just think it's really funny being a Bruins fan. Obviously, I can't stand the Montreal Canadiens, my least favorite team. And then the Bruins always taking out the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs was always a funny stat, which makes me really happy. So just watching them just eat their heart outs right now with Mitch Marner leading the postseason with 21 points. The Canadiens almost taking a 2-0 lead against the Hurricanes in the East. It's great. It's great. It's fantastic. And I love every second of it. Obviously, I want the Canes to come on out because that was my pick to start the season. And I don't want the Habs to go because they're my least favorite team in all of hockey. But yeah.
It's a good series. The hockey is fun.
It's a good series. And last night it was real fun watching the Avs. I expected them to come out, hit hard. I really did. I expected them to come out. But talking about hitting hard is the Knights. It was like 34 to I don't know the exact stat. It was like 34, 37, something like that to 13 in hits. The Knights absolutely bullied them. And everybody. And then you get all the people saying, "Oh, the refs are on their side, this and that." No, Avalanche actually had more penalties. They actually had more power plays. They actually almost doubled the Knights in power plays this series. So no, the Knights they're being rougher and they're just having a better penalty kill because the Avs are not good. They're actually one of the worst teams in the league, which is funny being the President Trophy winners, one of the worst teams in the league on the power play. So the Knights don't mind going to the bench and or going to the penalty box. So they're going to play aggressive and they've been working them. So I love this team, the Knights. I told you they were great on paper. They just needed that spark. They needed the coaching change. It's fantastic. They've unlocked the potential of this high scoring offense. And yeah, after that win last night, coming back down 3-0 and winning that game, the Knights, in my opinion, are going to win the cup because whoever comes out of the East, even with the Knights being in the pillow fight division is what people are calling the Pacific. With Tortorella, they have a new drive on how they want to play this game, and they want to be more aggressive offensively, which they can be because they got all the tools to be so. But you can't count them out. You just can't count them out. The amount of times that they have come back and won games is just great. This team is phenomenal.
Yeah, and they're fun to watch too. Again, like you said, the second they get down, they start playing their best. That's
Right.
the most fun teams to watch. Now, Casino, let's transition over to the NBA. Great game last night. And a thing I noticed that I'm glad other people on TV also noticed was I was watching the Spurs Thunder game, and I kept being like, man, every time they cut to the Spurs head coach, he's standing in front of two members of the audience. And it happened after like the fifth time it happened. I was like, they're cutting to this coach a lot. I think I understand why. They kept cutting to the Spurs coach. And my wife was like, why do they keep showing that guy? And I was like, well, he's the coach of the Spurs, but I think there's another reason. And it was because every single time they cut to him, it was just these two chicks with giant boobs behind him that he was perfectly in the middle of. And then they, to make up for it, then they cut to this, which was just a bunch of nuns also attending the Spurs games. So whoever was the cameraman last night, great work.
I tagged you in, or I sent it to you, the Dr. Locks MD. I don't know if anybody follows him. He's fantastic. His voice is so soothing. He's just a really do you listen to him?
Yeah, no, I knew exactly who he was. Yeah, when
he's fantastic. I will listen to him talk about sports or anything because just his voice is so calming and how he approaches it. But he was talking about this game and about all the people that showed up and whatnot. And he's like, the nuns showed up, the blah 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 showed up, and he's like, even the strippers showed up, and it pans right over to them. Like, oh man, it was fantastic. Yeah, they knew what they were doing. And when I say they, the girls in the back knew what they were doing. They're like, oh, we are going to be right behind this bench. Put them out. Let's go.
And you know what? As a fan of basketball, I loved it. As a fan of basketball, I loved it. Weird first game of NBA this season that my wife just decided to watch because I was like, that was literally the entire first quarter. They just kept cutting to the coach on the sidelines. But let's talk about that game. Now the basketball of it, Casino. The Spurs last night tied up with the Thunder. So since we last recorded an episode last Wednesday, didn't have time to record one on Friday. Since we recorded on Wednesday, the Thunder went up 2-1. Last night was also, it was two kind of bad, weird Wemby games where apparently the way to stop Wembanyama is just to foul him every play, and then the refs just get tired of calling fouls, so they just let you beat the shit out of him. Like that, the Thunder's entire strategy in games 2 and 3 were, hey, we're just gonna
punch him,
really annoy Wembanyama, and we're gonna, every time he goes to jump, we're just gonna push his shoulders down, and we're gonna hold his arms, and we're gonna just smack into him.
Watch it on his face, dude. Like, he's just getting mauled, and he's just like, yeah, really? Again?
Yeah.
Another one?
Well, you can tell he's almost gotten to the point where he's just like, okay, when somebody's not hitting me, like that's more unusual than when I'm just constantly being attacked. And then so last night's game, they finally let him actually have some type of space, some type of, I don't know, play actual basketball, and he wiped the floor with them.
Don't do it.
What is it? He was 33, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks. He was a plus 29 when he was on the court. And it's also, when you're watching these games, it's, first off, it's felt like the first game is the closest game they had all series, which it was back and forth. Every other game since then, it's just been like the Spurs were basically like, hey, we're tired. We're getting blown out almost immediately. We're just going to let the Thunder have this one. Last night, it felt like the Spurs were blowing out the Thunder. The Thunder kept trying to come back, and points and just position and ball movement were at such a minimum. It became this thing where go just watch the highlights of this game last night, because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander keeps trying to attack the rim, and it is not only a stupid strategy, it's a strategy that does not work against this Spurs team. Because I don't know if you knew this or not, Casino. Wembanyama is 7'4", and he just stands under the basket, and you're seeing Shea try to do like these fade away arcing shots that have to go like 20 feet in the air and then come down, and obviously they miss because who's trying to shoot over a 7'4" guy? But
yeah, I mean, you're no Dirk Nowitzki.
well, it's just one of those things where you're watching it and you just go, Shea Gildress he's obviously, I mean, last night there's a million clips every game, especially last night, where it's just he jumps into contact and then he falls and he does this weird.
Some even not even contact, dude.
Dude, most of them aren't even contact or are contact he initiates. It's like the weirdest. Again, the foul baiting is not only is it's egregious, it's weird.
But
no other player does this.
No,
it's
but
weird.
I will say this, dude. Castle, well done. You are annoying SGA to his core.
Yeah.
Like, yes, Wembanyama is great and he's doing some amazing things. We'll talk about his 3-point shooting here and all of that stuff, blah, 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 his rebounds, all that, whatever. But Castle taking care of SGA and being a menace to him.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Castle had 5 fouls. Yeah, and most all of those were on SGA, but he don't care. He is going to pester him like crazy, and I love every second of it. I love, and I really do think Castle is the unsung hero of this series right now. He is just pissing SG off so much, and I love it. That's your MVP that is whining, looking to the rest every single time he takes a shot, falling to the ground. I've never seen more hate for a player than, like, especially
completely agree.
An MVP player.
Yeah.
And people are just so done with SGA and his flopping and falling over. He spends more time on the ground, dude, than he does in the air.
Well, it's also now we've reached peak like flopping where it's now people trying to justify it and make up like random bullshit where it's like, oh no, he actually does that where he falls after every shot, every jump shot to like protect against injury and stuff like that. You're just like, really? He's the only player in NBA history that figured this out? Like,
no.
It makes no sense. It's dumb. When you watch the game, it's irritating as shit. And as somebody
his nickname is the free throw merchant.
Yeah. And again, when you see games like this, it's egregious. But also in this game, again, he wasn't getting his shots off to begin with. He only shot 7 free throws.
No, because he's trying to draw the contact, right? He's doing everything. He's not worried about the initial shot. He's worried about getting to the line. That's all he's 100%. Caring about right now is he's trying to stat pad. So he knows that he's probably going to lose this series. I think after last night, it's in his head that they're not going to win this series. It might go 7, but they're not going to win this series. He looks frustrated. He looks agitated in every game that he's playing, and I just don't see it.
I'll tell you what is it? When you're watching a game last night, the player that has kept them in these series has been 3 players. It's been, Jalen Williams, Alex Caruso, and then Jared McCain. Last night, those 3 players combined for 7 points, and Alex Caruso played 14 minutes, had 0 points, 0 turnovers, and 2 rebounds. So again, it's one of those things where the bench has been outscoring. The Thunder bench has been outscoring the Spurs bench like 80% to 20%. That's how they did it last night on the graphic, where it was like 80% of the points of the games that the Thunder have won, including game 1, where they should have probably won that game, but just Wembanyama had, an all-time great playoff performance.
He became the face of the league that night.
Yeah. So since in the past 3 games, before last night, the Thunder bench has basically outscored the Spurs bench like 8-1, right? 8, or I would say probably 10-2, right? And for every 10 points they get, the Spurs bench gets 2. So then you look at last night and you go, not only did the Oklahoma City starters do nothing, their bench had just absolutely nothing. They had Williams and Joe, who were in the game for 23 minutes and 19 minutes, were the only two players with double digits. Again, Caruso, who almost single-handedly won them game one, was a ghost. He was nowhere to be seen. He had two steals in the game. And again, I think both of them were on SGA, who had 4 turnovers. And it was also, he could have had 7 or 8. Like, he was just playing recklessly and playing carelessly with the ball. And it was one of those things where he would just try to attack the Spurs under the rim so much, again, which is a dumb strategy. But every time he would go under it, they would just either smack the ball out of his hand or just block it. Because again, he'd be trying to go up the middle with 3 guys there, one of them being 7'4" Wembanyama. So it just becomes this thing where you also have, I don't think I've ever seen an NBA game where one team is ahead by, let's say, 10 points or more, and they jack up the last shot before the half, and it's a crazy shot. Last night it was a 40-foot jumper that goes in before the half. I've never seen a team that is not only leading but then gets that insane shot before half lose a game. I think if you looked at it, it would be like teams that make the half court shot while also winning are 1,000% just going to win the game. Doesn't even matter what happens in the second half. So when Wembanyama hit that shot before half, it was just like, oh, Spurs are going to kill him. And then they
I
killed
love how
him
we talked
103 to
about
82.
in game one, we talked about his great Steph Curry spot shot, and then
Yeah.
he just does this.
Dude, he just does it like so carelessly too. And it's not like it wasn't a well-defended shot. He had like 3 guys around him. He just
what I loved about it is as the ball goes in, you see there was an OKC fan who's wearing an SGA jersey. He was walking up the aisle and he's watching it, and as it goes in, like he just like turns around and just kind of like slumps, like he's just like, really. It makes me happy every single time I see that. I don't know if you have that clip, obviously.
I'll look at it.
Well,
I do
I mean,
not, but
you're gonna be able to. You won't be able to show it anyway.
we can show the shot, but obviously it'll be without audio, and then it'll still probably get. Again, I watch so many basketball videos. I don't know how all these guys have all these basketball highlights, and nothing happens to their channels. Ours, I don't know, maybe it's because it's live. Maybe if we just recorded it, it'd be different. But the second we play a clip, it's just over. We can't play it. I don't understand it. Uh, oh, hold on. Let me put in Wemby shot. But yeah, it really becomes one of those things where you're just seeing the emergence of a player that is not only the best offensive player, the best defensive player, obviously, but also a guy that there's just no answer to. Like, again, what is it? Shea Gildress won the MVP, and we've seen what the solution to Shea Gildress is, which is just body him when he tries to rush up the middle. You put a guy under the rim. You just make him uncomfortable. You make him kind of nervous to dribble around more than 2 guys. You always double team him. You force him to make either a terrible shot or a terrible pass, and then you just frustrate him. And going into this series, we thought that would be the plan on how to stop Wembanyama, because obviously we saw when he got frustrated, he elbows the guy right in the face. So we thought, and again, it worked in games 2 and 3. Like, that's what they were doing to Wemby, where it was just annoy him. But it's one of those things where we haven't really seen a great Shea Gildress game this series. We've seen good SGA games. We haven't seen a great one yet. And after you watch last night, you go, if this series goes 7, which I think it might, we have to get one great SGA game. But with the way, again, because points were coming at such a premium, but the Thunder are the better defensive team than the Spurs. The Spurs just have the best defensive player
in all of basketball history.
Yeah, it's just insane. So here we can watch the shot from last night.
Again, I mean, the shot's great, but I want you to see the guy that's walking up the aisle. Like, obviously, I love
I'll
sad
try to find that
fans.
one.
I love sad
Yeah,
fans. No,
that's your
it's
number one
part of that
thing.
shot. It is. So this angle should show it. It's my favorite thing. It's so great.
God, 40
Just watched him.
feet.
Did you see it?
Oh, the guy in the over
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go back to it. It's so great. It's every time. It just goes in and he just turns around
Oh
defeated.
no. Okay, so let's start it from the beginning. Also, the awareness to get a couple dribbles in, it's 1 second, and then fire the shot.
He just like
I like
just throws his arms up like that. That's what stood out to me. That's the funniest part of that entire thing, or the greatest part of that video. It's not that Wemby made that shot. It was because that's awesome, and he
just
can
the
do that.
defeat.
It's the
The
defeat of
defeat.
that guy of like, how can we stop this dude? Oh, you can't. You just can't.
No, you can't. It's man, it's what is it? And again, I don't know, man. When you're watching it, even when you watched games 2 and 3, you're just like, maybe the Thunder have figured out the Spurs. Maybe they figured out Wembanyama. And then you watch the game last night and you're just like, nope. It honestly feels like they just got lucky. Like, because again, it's not like these are the first 4 games we've seen these two teams play against each other. Before this series started, we talked about how the Thunder beat the Spurs 1 time of the 5 times they played during the regular season.
Right.
So the last 10 times these teams have played, what? The Spurs are like 8-3 now. It's or what is it? They'd be 7-3 the last 10 times these two teams have played. It just really feels like again, Shea and what this Thunder team does against every other team works except against the Spurs. And it's again, these two just really young teams, really great defensive teams who just heavily rely on their star player. And the Thunder feel like they've just gotten lucky for how deep their bench is and how much they've gotten from their bench. But it's harder to rely on one guy, or it's harder to rely on a bunch of guys having great individual games than just one guy having a great game that kind of, the rising water lifts all ships. It's when Wembanyama has a great game, he lifts everybody up. Shea has had, again, a good game. He had a 30-point game, what I think in game 2 or 3. That was a great game from him, but it was also the bench when he's off the court has also been, 3 or 4 guys who are really keeping this Thunder team going. The Spurs don't have that. When Wemby's off the court, they're almost getting blown like out every time Wemby steps off the court. So again, now we move over to the East Casino, and this becomes one of those things that's starting to get a little bit dicey for the West has the best team, because the West do, in my opinion, still have the best 2 teams, the Thunder and the Spurs, but they might legitimately just beat the shit out of each other so much that the Knicks can just sneak in there and win a title. Because
I don't know, man.
the Knicks are 3-0. They have the potential to close out the series tonight. Do I think they will? Yeah.
Yes.
I actually do think they will.
I think they're going to sweep.
I think they will sweep. That'll be 2
and it's not because they're a great team. It's not because everything's clicking for them. It's solely because James Harden is on the other side. The whole reason. That's the only reason.
Well, see, this is my counter to everybody saying the Knicks are going to win the title. They played a disastrous Sixers team, and then they played this Cavs team that, again, we had questions with the second they traded for James Harden. We had questions with them multiple times during that Pistons series. So now this Cavaliers team kind of falling apart against this Knicks team, you're just like, yeah, they've kind of been avoiding falling apart for 2 series now. Like, it's like, I don't know how good this Knicks team is. I just know that when I watch them, they're really good in this series and in the Sixers series. And it really does feel like no matter what crazy shot they put up, no matter what shooting performance they're having, every shot they need to go in goes in. It is remarkable. Like, it's one of those things where you just go, I knew the Knicks were a good team. I didn't think they were this great offensive shooting team where all of a sudden, yeah, everybody is just, feels like they're hitting 80% from the field. I know they're not, but when you're watching the game, you're just like, when did the Knicks just become the best shooting team in the league? It's crazy. It's insane. And again, it's also one of those things where they're playing against the Cavs and
Yeah, but just wait. Like if they play the Spurs, that best shooting team is going to have to look over a giant.
well, yeah, I'm really, like you said, Castle. I'm really interested to see how he just locks up. It's either going to have to be Harder Brunson,
Well, here's the thing.
or
He's locking up the best player in the league right now, right? He's locking up the MVP for the most part. And,
that is a good point.
you know,
Yeah,
that goes a long way. I think he's the unsung hero right now of the playoffs.
yeah. Well, and again, you just look at the Cavaliers. It's their three best players: Mobley, Harden, Mitchell. Last game, 5 turnovers, 6 turnovers, 5 turnovers. Like it is again. The Cavs are basically, and not basically, they are handing the game to the Knicks almost every game of this series. The Thunder and Spurs will not do that. The Thunder and Spurs, when the Spurs have had an off night, even when the Thunder has had an off night, it's not due to their best players just repeatedly turning the ball over. So, and again, the Knicks have a great defense, but I also think their defensive stats are boosted a little because they've been playing against Sixers team that was a 7 seed and kind of put every single ounce of will they had into destroying that Celtics team. But again, even in that Celtics series, they were down 3-1 at one point. It's not like it was an even series back and forth, heavyweights blow for blow. It was Celtics got a little too confident. Sixers got a little too much what is it? Like down in the dumps. Oh, we can't beat this team. They're going to knock us out for the 4th year in a row. And then those kind of two things clashed with this Cavaliers Knicks team. I think the Cavs could win tonight. But again, to win tonight, you would have to have your 3 main starters not turn the ball over. And as we've seen multiple times in this series, in this playoff run, is just James Harden is incapable of that.
Mm-hmm.
He's incapable of making more field goals than he is turnovers. Like he's had multiple games where he's had more turnovers than made points. It's ridiculous. And we knew this would happen in the offseason when they signed him. Donovan Mitchell plays worse when Harden is on the court with him. Donovan Mitchell was a minus 22 when he was on the court. There's also this weird thing where you watch Donovan Mitchell play. He does a lot of floaters, which he never really does. So that's has started to get the engine rolling on, is he injured? Is he hurt? Is he trying to hide an injury by playing in a weird style we haven't seen him play? So I don't know. Again, when you watch this, you just go, last game, the Knicks, every one of their starters had double-digit points. Brunson had 30 points. Their bench outside of Shamet really did nothing. Like Shamet is their star 6-man off the bench, or he's become their 6-man off the bench. And just, Knicks fans are losing their mind and doing Landry Shamet, highlight videos because this Knicks run has been so improbable. But I just think, again, when you look at the playoff bracket, the 7 seed Sixers and this Cavaliers team that has gone to 7 with the Raptors, 7 against the Pistons, and then is going to get swept by the Knicks. The Knicks went 6 games with the Hawks. They swept the Sixers. They swept the Cavaliers. I think that says more about the teams they've played than about what the Knicks are.
It's going to be a big step up against the other two, whoever they play.
Because again,
and as you said as you said that those teams out of the West, whether it's the OKC or the Spurs, they're not gonna give up the game. They're not gonna pull what the Cavs are doing, where it's just like, oh yeah, we're kind of making it a good game, and now we're not. Like they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. We saw that in game one, double OT. Like it's not gonna happen. Like those teams will fight. Either one of them that come out of the West, they will fight tooth and nail. And I just don't think that the Knicks can handle that.
It's also one of those things where the Spurs beat the Timberwolves, if they beat the Thunder, if they beat the Trailblazers, when the Seattle Supersonics and whatever Las Vegas's team is going to be, the Timberwolves are going to be the team that moves over to the East for realignment, right? If this Timberwolves team moved over to the East right now, they would legitimately be
they would go
the
to the
third
final.
best team. Yeah, it would be Knicks, Timberwolves right now, probably in the Eastern Conference Finals. So again, Spurs having to go through the 6th seed that is as good as the Timberwolves were this season, and then doing to this Thunder team what they have done. And again, Thunder come through, they beat the Lakers in a sweep, they beat the Suns in a sweep. Kind of feels like what the Knicks have done, which is just beat two broken teams that probably shouldn't have been either those seeds or that high in the playoffs to begin with. But with the Thunder, at least we know they're the best team in the league and have been for 2 seasons. They're returning champions trying to repeat. With the Knicks, they don't have those pedigree. But again, tonight's game, Knicks only 2.5-point favorites. So if the Cavaliers ever win a game, now I think they have zero shot of winning this series because obviously they're down 3-0. But if the Cavs have any shot of winning a game, it's tonight's game. Do I think they do it? Absolutely not. I think this Knicks team is so much better than this Cavs team. This Cavs team has now just had 3 games in a row where they're just falling apart.
They've given up.
Yeah. And I really do want to see Thunder and Spurs, or Thunder or Spurs versus this Knicks team, because again, I think the Knicks are fun to watch. They're a fun team to play, especially in the Garden when it's just going, every shot they shoot is going in. But I just don't think Towns is ready for Wembanyama. I just don't think he is. Outside of that casino, I mean, the only thing we wanted to talk about was in the NFL was just that Matthew Stafford has signed an extension. It really does feel like this Rams team in the NFL, it really feels like they're like, okay, we're all in this year. Like, obviously, they were trying to get in on the AJ Brown trade. I still think there's a potential that they either get Tyreek Hill or oh shit, who was the other wide receiver we were talking about them getting? Stephon Diggs. I really think it's either Stephon Diggs or Tyreek Hill ends up on this Rams team for Matthew Stafford. But again, there's very few teams in the NFL where it's like Super Bowl windows open for the next couple years. I really think the Rams are Super Bowl windows open right now, and maybe next year, who knows, right? Like,
and then it's a fire sale. They have to get rid of everybody because they can't pay anybody else.
Yeah,
but it's fine. I think Matthew Stafford will win one more. I think this is the year that he'll win another, and then him and Sean McVay, they just retire. I mean, Sean McVay being young, but he's also talked about not wanting to coach anymore. He's already been vocal about it. So I mean, if he wins out again with Stafford, I mean, go enjoy your life. Like, he wants to retire. He wants to be able to ride off in the sunset and just live off of being a great coach at a young age.
Well, it's also one of those things where remember, Ty Simpson was the quarterback they drafted for this Rams team in the first round, and we played that clip of Sean McVay at the press conference. He looked pretty pissed off that they drafted Ty Simpson. So if he loses, like, quote unquote, his guy in Matthew Stafford, like, you think he's going to stay on and be like, oh yeah, let me coach this rookie quarterback I was visibly upset we drafted? Like, honestly, I don't think so. I could see McVay doing the thing we've seen a bunch of coaches do. We probably will see Mike Tomlin do it, which is go to TV for a year or two, kind of feel what's out there, see if like a job like, obviously my Eagles, Nick Sirianni is on the hot seat. It feels like every year. Yeah. Like, if I
hear there's a position at the Athletic he can take.
Yeah, but you don't want to know what I got to do to keep that job, because he doesn't want to know. But some or again, you look at what the Chargers or the Bills or again the Ravens, like these teams with these high profile quarterbacks with kind of questionable coaches. Look at the Bengals. If all of a sudden McVay wins a Super Bowl, goes away for a year or two, and then one of those jobs open up, he'd be stupid not to be like, yeah, of course I want to coach Josh Allen. Yeah, of course I want to coach Joe Burrow. Like I've seen,
Lamar Jackson, whoever.
yeah, any of these top tier quarterbacks who have had coaching issues or coaches who couldn't get him over the hump. Like I think he would die to do that. And especially Matt Stafford. Like again, the only thing I feel like the Rams are going to be a lot of people's Super Bowl pick this year. I feel like the only issue with that is Matthew Stafford. Again, he's older. He's already been injury prone in the past. It's kind of like the Rodgers
last year with back issues, he goes and has one of the best performances a quarterback has ever had.
Yeah. Also, 1 year, $55 million. I feel like that makes him one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league, right? Because isn't Dak like $60 million a year? He's the highest right now.
Something like that. But it's just an extension onto his already. So now he's got 2 years. But yeah, I mean, who knows? He might just retire. Go win the Super Bowl and just retire, dude.
And again, Stafford does not feel like the Rodgers type where it'd be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do the year like
farewell tour. Yeah,
I feel like he'd be the type of guy who'd just be like, after the season ends, he'd be like, oh yeah, I'm done.
Dude, he might win the Super Bowl and like on that podium just be like, yeah, that was it. Bye guys.
Yeah. So
I won 2 trophies. I'm awesome. Watch my highlight reel.
Yeah.
All right.
Other than that,
sorry, Lions.
Other than that, Casino, I mean, it's June 1st in a week. So obviously next Monday, we're probably going to be talking about the AJ Brown trade. And then when it comes to June, like Stanley Cup final is going to happen. NBA finals is going to happen. And then we're going to have June and July of just trying to figure out what the hell to do on this show. So on that note, Casino, this has been the Only Sports Podcast. We'll see you Wednesday to talk about obviously probably the Knicks sweeping and whatever happens in hockey and the other NBA game. But other than that, anything else to say before we get out of here, Casino?
Rest in peace, Kyle Busch.
Oh, that's true. That was really sad.
I don't really want to talk about it. I mean, it's very somber, big on.
Yeah.
I'm not huge into racing, but he's big in the Las Vegas community. So that was.
Yeah. And he's also seemed like a good dude. And how he passed away was just weird.
Yeah. Pneumonia that turned into sepsis real fast. So that's.
Dude, within the span of like 72 hours or something like that. That's insane.
The week leading up to it, he probably shouldn't have been racing and practicing and all the things. So
yeah,
it's not great. But thoughts go out to his family. Thoughts go out to the racing community because regardless, you loved him, you hate him. His nickname was Rowdy for a reason. He's arguably the greatest racer to ever live when it comes to NASCAR. I think he is.
Yeah. So RIP to him.
What's really cool is
family and stuff.
Last night, the Vegas Golden Knights, they did a moment of silence for him, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's nice. That is nice.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who don't know much about racing or the Busch brothers or whatever, he was real big in the community. He put a lot back into the community. Both him and his brother Kurt, like they're real big in Vegas. So even if you don't follow racing at all, you know who they are. So yeah, sad day.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yep.
This has been the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino. We will see you on Wednesday. And there you go.
Adios.
Adios.